Good evening, friends, and welcome to a major live stream in the history of the Kirby Russia universe, because I think this is going to be the last live stream that I do under the old format. We're going to talk about the houses of the American Village today, because as you may have noticed yesterday, whether you're on the American Villages group or the Kirby Russia hardcore group, or who knows, maybe you saw it somewhere else, we have the plans for what I'm referring to, the sort of medium-size house of the American Village, which thankfully the architect, who is working for peanuts, a lot of those peanuts donated by you, by the way, so thank you very much, he's willing to make some major changes. So he's kind of waiting for feedback, and you guys provided for some feedback. But you know what's kind of more exciting than doing a post, on some Telegram channel, is being able to kind of talk this stuff out. So if you guys want to talk about what you saw in the houses, what you liked or didn't like, that's fine. I'm actually going to go through and essentially, like how I normally read your comments, I'm going to do that, but I'm actually going to read the comments about the houses, because some of them require clarification, and a few of them were surprisingly good. In fact, the first one here that's sort of lined up is really good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the houses of the American Village. Now, we have some personal news with me. From the 5th till the 15th, I will be on vacation. I'll probably screw around with, posting memes or sharing stuff, that people share with me. But ultimately, the Kirby Russia hardcore universe is going to be for the most part, on temporary closure, because I really want to take a break, and I have something important to do over that 10-day span. And where am I going? None of your business. Unfortunately, we live in times where a lot of people tend to get in trouble if they're too obvious with their plans. So let's just say I'll be inaccessible, but I'll be on the territory of the Russian Federation somewhere. So anyways, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break here, which kind of doesn't work out super well with planning the American Village, but what can you do? And after I come back from vacation, we will have the new format of live streams I've been thinking about. Again, I'm going to try to see if maybe there's a Russian equivalent of StreamYard, because StreamYard is cool, but you can't pay for it from Russia. There's a lot of things like that. I can't pay for Zoom or Skype or really anything anymore, or Steam. That one hurts. I could really go for a new game on Steam, but those days are sort of in the past. So, anyways, I'm going to see if maybe there's a Russian equivalent to with StreamYard. That'd be amazing. Maybe some of you guys know. But if there isn't, that's okay. I kind of know how to do this through OBS. There's one thing I need to set up, though. There's a thing which is the equivalent of Restream, which is something I used in the past, where you can do, you record in one program, and then you can send it all over the internet. That's amazing. And there's a new Russian, copied version of it, which works well, but the integration for Telegram is really difficult. And so I think when I come back from this vacation, first thing I'm going to do is sit down and go through the nightmare of trying to have the full Telegram integration. So that way, you guys who are here on Telegram are going to be able to participate in those live streams basically in the same way you've always been, but the quality is going to be better. The videos are going to go directly to YouTube and Rumble and BitChute and all that other stuff, and that'll make everyone happy, especially me. Because kind of having to go back and upload each of these videos individually later, not so great. So anyways, that's a little bit about what's going to be happening. So from August 5th to August 15th, don't expect too much out of the channel other than some news, maybe a couple of my opinions, but there's not going to be any videos. So anyways, let's take some time, and we'll go through and talk about the houses for the American Village right now. Oh, and also, like I said, the new format of how I'm going to do these live streams, which should be better and more professional looking. The audio won't get any better. The audio is as good as it'll ever get, probably. So anyways, that'll happen also after I get back from my vacation. And also remember, this vacation is not because I want to take a vacation, but because I kind of had to due to certain parental circumstances, as they call them. So it's actually a really bad time to do this, but whatever. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So anyways, I think maybe now might be a good time to actually sort of split screen this bad boy, if the system will let me. Wasn't there a way to split the screen? I thought there was. Well, we'll see, won't we? Anyways, and there's a way to like pull. Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness, that's lovely. So anyways, that's the plan I got from the architect. Of course, I sort of put these plans from being a PDF file, which I thought no one would go through, to being basically like what you need to see about this whole thing on sort of one picture there. And yeah, so I hope you guys can see this. You know, I don't watch my own videos, obviously, so I'm never quite sure how this is going to turn out in the final file format. Hopefully it looks nice. Anyways, I see one person has their hand raised. I guess we can talk to you now, but hello, Arshad, you want to talk? It's a little early for this, but that's okay. You wanted to say something. Arshad, going once. Arshad, going twice. Maybe unmute yourself, because I don't have you muted. Arshad, going twice. Arshad, oh, there he is. Okay, so you hire.
Hello, team. How are you doing?
Fine.
Just a question here. Not for the American village. Just wanted to know why non-Americans can't join this American village. Just
because that's not part of the project concept, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the question now.
Well, that's the way it works out, man. Sorry, but you got to sell an idea to get some sort of stuff approved, and that's the idea that would sell. Creating some sort of global village with open borders and all that would not sell to any Russian politicians that exist currently. So, well, maybe some of the ones in the Yabloko party, if that still exists even anymore. So, yeah. Also, it's to create a sort of community of similar people, and that's the whole idea there. Just like how there's a German village outside of Nizhny Novgorod, and the Dutch are trying to put together their own little universe somewhere, although that's going very slow. So anyways, man, I'll put you on mute there, not because you're a bad person, but because we got to get on with the show. So that's why. So essentially, these things are kind of being broken down into their sort of I always wonder whether it's in English, because in Russia it's like diaspora, but is it diaspora or is it diaspora or diaspora? That also sounds like it could be a word. I never know how to say that word, even in my own language. So depends on your diaspora to sort of organize things. And if someone who speaks English as a native language, well, there you go. That's the group that I can help the best. I am not French. Anyways, so let's get into this thing here. There were some comments, thoughts, criticism, and I think I scrolled too far. Where was I? Because there's a really good comment. So as you look at the image below, I don't know, maybe we should just go to the image. Go on, baby. No, don't do that. Why does it do that? Why? It seems to not want to undo what it's doing. Anyways, I guess we can just go to stop sharing, and we can go to sharing again. Why not? This is a free country. Okay, so anyways, there's the house. The first comment I really liked, it was from Pyotr Gorodechny, who I think Pyotr actually was born outside of Russia, if memory serves me, but that is a very Eastern European sounding name. Gorodechny. But anyways, it says, I think you definitely need another door between the mudroom and the main compartment for insulation in winter. Even European houses have it. The following text is blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, yeah, he's sort of saying that, if you guys can see my mouse cursor, that basically there should be a door maybe somewhere here, or this should be kind of like boxed off, even though there's a bathroom there or something. It's kind of a second door. I actually really agree with that. That's a good idea. One of the alternatives to that that I've also seen, which I'll say to the architect, is since by the plan we sort of just have this little deck here, you can box this off. And because it always helps when you live in a really cold environment like Russia. Because in winter, as soon as there's a nice open door, that hot air wants to escape really badly. And it's almost like if you create an airlock where you sort of open one door, come in all the way, close it, and then open the next door. Again, like an airlock, like we're on the space station, you really save a lot of heat. So I think that that's a good idea, and I think that that's something we should do, whether the door would be here and create a little box for around the deck, the mini deck, or whether the door would be like something like here or do something a little bit different there. So I actually really like that idea, and I already wrote it down on my big list of ideas. So that was the first criticism, and that was an awesome criticism. Piotr continues, I also don't understand how it will be heated, wood or gas heater, blah, 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 and ventilation. About heating, well, the one thing is that the government already said that they are not going to give us gas, because the standards for gas is that in order to get a gas line set up, we would have to either pay an insane amount of money, which we're not going to do, or we'd have to be bordering an actual like village or city or town or whatever that has gas, and then they would do it for free. So because we're not going to have that, what's probably going to happen is, first off, every house will have somewhere in it, which again, the architectural plans don't have. So let's go with put in wood burning stove. Okay, what about heating? I believe in the more detailed documents the architect had, he did actually get into the heating of it. But we're going to have a wood-burning stove somewhere in every house, probably somewhere towards the middle. If you look at the plan, there's obviously kind of like space over here or space over here. So, yeah, because you know what? Electricity is never 100% guaranteed, but a wood-burning stove sure is, as long as you're home. So we'll have that, and we've talked about many times in this program, so I won't get into it, that you can get your mini gas holder, as they're called, despite the fact that the mini has enough for like 2 or 3 months worth of gas. And those can be put outside the home, and they're amazing. You just have a truck come and fill it up with gas every 2 or 3 months, and that is a very cost-effective way of heating your home. In fact, that's probably what we're going to do, but that's a little bit up to the architect and sort of the final discussion with the government. Who knows? Maybe they'll give us gas. Maybe they won't, but the gas tank option is there, and the gas tanks don't cost that much money. They really don't. It's like $1,500 to get the gas tank set up and installed. So, I mean, when you think about it in terms of a house, that's actually not very expensive. So anyways, let's go to our next comment here. We had a lot of issues with electricity when we were building our house, and if you no, we don't count electric heating. No one does. The electricity goes out from time to time, so don't worry, Piotr. We are never going to do that. Jens, hello, Tim. Looks good, but I would suggest to reduce the meters and pipes needed for plumbing to reduce the cost of risks of frozen pipes. To be honest, Jens, that's why this is one thing that I would agree with you on. Where we have nice home design versus home design that's efficient. And if you see the architect, oh, wow, that got really big on my screen. That's crazy. Anyways, I guess we'll make it super huge. Why not? If you look over here, the architect sort of put that there's this like a second mini bathroom over there. And maybe not so much about pipes freezing, because in Russia, it is assumed that your house is warm on the inside. But again, you're adding a lot of cost to get all this over here. And I could see how maybe this is excessive. So I put that in the list of changes just now. I'm not really sure if the second bathroom is particularly necessary. And especially having it all the way over there. I don't know. Maybe that's not the best idea in the world. Well, I'll talk to him and see just how much it increases the cost to get all that water flowing over there. But if you're talking about in Russia from within your house, worrying about pipes freezing. Remember, we are not in Scandinavia. Russians do not do this thing where I've been told that in Scandinavia, people actually dress basically when they're indoors in winter, almost the same as like for being outdoors, only with like clean clothing. That is not the case in Russia. In Russia, we crank the heat. So if you're home, your pipes will never blow. But of course, as is the great Russian tradition, always they have some sort of mechanism to get all the water out of your pipes. You know what I mean? So that way, if you do have to leave Russia and you have to leave Russia in winter, you can obviously clear the entire system of water. In fact, my home in beautiful Chekhov has that feature, and it works very well. It's kind of a pain to do, but it does work quite well. Jens continues, as someone else noted, there's no ventilation for the heating unit. Jens. Yeah, you don't know what country you're moving to. No one gives a shit about that. Of course, putting in a heating vent is something that wouldn't really be featured in a two-dimensional architectural plan. Like, as you look by this drawing, you don't really see it. I guess you don't see that there's a chimney. But that's something we can add later. That's not a real big issue. I just wanted to get from the guy the layout. but having like amazing ventilation, that is a Western concept. No one here cares. When they build apartment buildings, they technically build them with a ventilation shaft that, it's not really a big thing in Russia. It's not a real major concern. So he also says, I'd like to also that additional wall separators can be placed to create extra rooms. Well, Jens, that's one of those real sort of obvious things where if you look at the design of the house, if you go from this point to this point, you could very easily make this into a room. You could very easily close off the kitchen. That's just kind of obvious. So yeah, maybe having a few little options involved would be okay. Like medium-sized house with wall type A, B, or C. But anyways, let's see. Now people are starting to talk amongst themselves. I see someone wants to talk. We'll get to them soon. Jens adds a PS, all piping must be drained. We just talked about that. Yep. I totally agree. That is one thing you definitely need in a Russian house, is the ability to drain all the water out of your heating system. That is an absolute must. That I agree with. Let's see. Justin, there is a room there with the boiler in it. It is the first door on the right when you walk in. Yes, if you're looking, that is right over here. If you guys can see the mouse thing, I hope you can. Every year, as far as I'm aware, a representative of the gas company will need to inspect your boiler room. What are you talking about? It is, and so it is handy to have it easily accessible. I don't know, maybe, man, but I've helped people try to like work out some problems with their gas line in the past, and nobody checked on that gas line. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a crazy fantasy world you're living in, where people come and inspect your house. That's not part of the Russian lifestyle, baby. I'm not interested in this project because I'm already building in Siberia. But if you could have the windows of the main rooms, kitchen, blah, 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 facing south, you'll reduce. Of course. That's something which I think goes without saying, is in Russia. I'm not, it kind of depends on how your plot of land is. But ultimately, everyone in Russia builds everything with the southern exposure. Everywhere. Always. It's just, if you don't, you're an idiot. Unless you're building a house that's like a dacha that you only will use in summer and you want it to be cool, then it'll be facing a different direction. But anyone with any brains has a southern exposure in Russia. Everyone. Let's see. Let's see. Modern subarctic homes usually have a perhaps 100+ liter water heating retainment container placed, blah, blah, blah. About heating water. Yeah, that's why if you look, that's why you have a boiler room and a laundry room in Russia in modern homes, because basically they all have their own water heating unit, which is usually 100 liters, although it could be more, it could be less. Unfortunately, in beautiful Fort Kirby, I only have 35 liters, and sometimes you can go through that pretty quick. I think these houses would probably have the 100-liter model, which actually stands on the floor rather than hanging on the wall. Yeah, that whole thing, all that, your fuse box, your water heater, all those goodies all get crammed into the one room that's called boiler room, in one place. And that's usually very effective. Yeah. Nicholas says a walkout basement, no basements. I said that in the description, Nicholas. You were not reading the description. There are no basements in Russia, especially around Moscow, where the soil is extremely wet. The cost of building a basement would be more expensive than probably a 2-story house. No basement. Garages, yes. Basements, no. Tim, has there been any discussion on the flood level from the Oka River? No, because it doesn't matter, because people live there and all their houses are built to standard Russian specifications everywhere. And the houses are all old and they're still standing. It'll be fine. Before we get started, we'll have to have the stupid geological survey come out just to be sure. That is one bureaucratic thing we definitely want to do. We'll do that. But don't worry about it. This worrying about the potential of a natural disaster is not part of the Russian lifestyle. In Russia, we don't worry about anything ever. Natural disasters don't happen much here, and when they do, no one cares. Hi, Tim. Definitely add a small shower to the guest bath and connect the master bathroom to the main bath with a door. A barn door would be really cool. It says burnt. I don't think that there's enough room. The way it's sort of drawn out right now, there really isn't much space there. And like I said, I kind of don't even like the extra bathroom being here. I like the classic Moscow thing where you actually have your bathroom that has a full bathroom right next to the half bathroom. You just have the toilet. So you have like two toilets right next to each other. You save money on pipes. Yeah. But no, that's very unlikely to happen. Very unlikely to happen. So, not for the medium-sized home. We do have a concept. We're going to talk about the big home that I just drew out today based on some of your guys' feedback and talking to a few people. But we'll talk about the big home later. A smaller home size should be coming very soon, and we'll release that in due time. So, anyways, Jens is writing, my mother is in Bornholmer, and I lived in Denmark for some time. I'm just an engineer. It's 40 minus in the winter, plus 30 in the summer. And you're right, the pipe should be at a certain depth under the soil outside. Again, guys, this is you getting into thinking that Tim is a complete idiot. Russia has methodology for this. Russia has a continental climate that has an extremely large sway. That's why you don't see a lot of pipes in Russian houses visibly, because they're all deep underground. Don't consider me an idiot, please. Irina Balina. I think it needs another shower in case there are 2 children in the family. I guess we can talk about additional shower, but additional shower. Okay, if this is possible, I'm not quite sure there if that's going to work out. But Irina, judging by your name, you should live in Russia, and you should know that in Russia, you never have 2 people take showers at the same time. The entire country is very used to that. And, yeah, so I don't know. That's very not in the Russian. Irina, are you from America? Anyways, Mr. Rotovator says, I would like to see a larger option. Oh, we'll get to that. Because I just drew that up today, so we'll get to the larger option coming up soon. Mr. Martinez says, I think there should be 1 bathroom, shower, bath, toilet, and sink, and 1 toilet room. Mr. Martinez, that is how this is drawn. That's literally how it's drawn. There is 1 full bathroom and 1 half bath in this drawing that we're seeing on screen right now. Look at 1 half and 1 full. A little confused, Mr. Martinez. Anyways, Christopher continues on. The 3rd home should be a larger home. Oh, well, he's helping me out here. So, yeah. So, anyways, that was the comments from the main channel. Let's see the comments that were actually on the good old village itself, because they were a little different. Don't worry, there's not too many. Well, actually, maybe there are a lot. Okay, anyways, Dostoevsky's Ghost says, it looks rock solid and kind of American. Well, it should be. It's a rectangle. Anyways, efficiency and good construction regardless of design. Keep operating maintenance costs over time low. Yep, that's one of the big things of the design vision of this. Somewhere, I think later on, someone says, why is the design so boring? Because boring is efficient. The most efficient shape to heat is a square, and then after that is a rectangle. So there's a reason why it is that shape. Anyways, the permafrost level there is much deeper. A consideration if repairs are needed, utilities and flow capability, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Kimberly Stoltz says, I love this. Kimberly, short and sweet. Thank you. Yakutsk, the entire oblast is chiming in. It's very basic. Oh, this was the person. It's very basic. Why not a more modern form of architecture? Money. People who are coming here who claim to me that they want to build a new and better life in Russia, only a small percent of them are wealthy. Most of them are sort of middle class, and if you want something fancy, you're going to have to pay for it. So boring architecture exists because it is easy to produce. Like if you look at the Khrushchevki, the apartment buildings they built during Khrushchev in the 1960s are very boring and basic because they needed something fast and efficient. And a lot of homes in the American Midwest look the way they do because it's effective. You know, like my parents' home was delivered on 2 semi-trucks. You know, they kind of had the right half of the home come on 1 truck. You know, they did the foundation, which is a Russian-style foundation, strip foundation, by the way, not a full American basement. So my parents are living it true Russian style. And so, like, a semi-truck with the right half of the house came and they plopped it down, and another semi-truck with the left half of the house came and they plopped it down. And that kind of construction is one of the reasons why my parents survived the 2008 financial crisis, even though they bought a home only a few years earlier. So good job, Mom and Dad. Good call. So again, this house, definitely, if you look at the little picture over here, this house is a little bit on the boring side. Maybe we can change it. We're going to get a 3D view. If you look at it, it's just kind of a rectangle. Yeah, that's boring, but gosh darn, is that effective to build? And especially because if there's anything that a Russian construction company, even the people that will probably use to do this, who, I'll put it this way, want to do their best, if there's anything they'll screw up, it's the roof. Like, if you can learn to speak Russian really well and start watching videos in Russia about construction, always the roof is screwed up. Always. That is number one. And look at this boring, amazing roof. That is perfecto. That's so boring, so uninteresting, that'll be hard to screw up. Oh, anyways, Bonnie wants to talk. Hello, let's break this bad boy up, Bonnie. How about you talk to me, and I'll talk to you, and we'll share the screen together. Hello. Can you hear me? Did I bring you on, or I'm a twit? I thought I did. Bonnie just vanished into a different universe. Bonnie, where are you now? And I think I figured out how to do this. You just click on it. I thought I was trying to drag it. Anyways, kind of lost my train of thought there. That's a shame. Bonnie, I did want to talk to you. You wouldn't let me. Anyways, if we're going back. Again, it looks simple, functional, and easy to maintain design. That's what I'm talking about. A shower stall in the second bath. Wow, that shower thing. Okay. Maybe the people have spoken. Maybe there's a way that we can extend that out just a little bit, and maybe somehow do something. I don't know. I'll have to, again, talk to the architect and see. Again, the architect, is working on peanuts. He is getting paid way less than he deserves for putting together, house concepts, even if maybe some of this house was borrowed from other assignments. Trust me, the amount of money he's getting paid versus market value, way different. So he was, I'm very happy that he is voluntarily choosing to, based on user feedback, try to fix this design and make it perfect. But one thing, like going back to Yakutsa's comment about why not doing something more architectural and beautiful and all. Unfortunately, Yakutsk, we can't do that. We have to make something that works and that is buildable and that is affordable. So again, no matter how many people were to comment, you should do something pretty or like Greco-Roman. Yes, I would like to live in a Greco-Roman style, like like a Roman villa. I would love to live that. Imagine you have this like a square donut, and in the middle you have like an outdoor kind of area. The original meaning of the word mall. And that'd be great. But guess what? We're not going to build. We're not going to build a Roman villa. Okay. No one, maybe two people in our program could possibly afford that. But the average middle class person, especially lower middle class person, cannot. Even with a good dollar exchange rate. Let's see. Chris, are you set on open concept? No, Chris. Again, just to say, for the second time, I think we need to come in and actually illustrate that if you look where on my, can you see my monitor or can you see me? You can see my monitor. It could very easily have a wall right there. There could very easily be a walled off kitchen. So yeah, open concept is absolutely not mandatory. Putting up an extra non-load bearing wall is not difficult. I could do it. So, that is definitely going to be an easy option to have. So anyways, he continues, I guess that's what everybody likes now. Not everybody, but I sure do. My parents do. My uncle's house is kind of that way. His house is weird because it has a kitchen connected to a family room, but then it's also connected to a dining room that's connected to what should be the main family room. Kind of weird design choice, but I don't know, pretty good. I think that's kind of the way to go. My friends who live in Connecticut, they have the whole thing where like the kitchen is completely, is house built in whatever, pre-World War II. And they have the kind where like the kitchen is its own universe. I don't know. I don't think it's good for family interaction, but their house is really pretty because it is pre-World War II. So, but I'll put it this way. If my friends in Connecticut, if their house was magically transported to Russia and I had to live in it with having an isolated old-timey kitchen, I wouldn't be shedding tears over it. I'll put it that way. So anyways, a fireplace would be nice. Yeah, that's wood-burning stove. Wood-burning stove is absolutely mandatory. That'll appear on the design after the architect fixes up. Got to have wood-burning stove. Forkbeard, who I think we wanted to like get an interview of me. I'm sorry, Forkbeard. I effed up. Oh, people want to talk. Okay, here we go. We got a lot of people want to talk. The Boz is here. Hello, The Boz. We've talked before. I hope you're here. Hello. The Boz. Unmute yourself if you're muted. It may require pushing some kind of button somewhere. The Boz, my friend, going once, going twice, going thrice, sold. Sorry, Boz, you got to fix something with your audio there. Next person who Telegram put at top of the list is, oh, no, the Boz wants to talk again. Boz, seriously, come on. Boz, once, twice, can't hear you. There's something wrong with my, hold on, let's check my speakers. Hold on, maybe it's me.
Hello.
Oh, now I can. Okay, there we go. Rock and roll.
I'm sorry, Tim. Yeah.
It's okay.
No, how's it going, man?
Fine.
No, just real quick, a quick comment. And I don't mean this, disrespectful in any way to your followers.
No, we're open for criticism here, okay? Unless you're going to say, well, why don't you just build a mansion? That's the only thing that's going to make me angry.
No.
All right.
No, just quick, because reading through some of the comments and, I came to Russia 2 times. I visited twice before I moved here. And, I'm from Long Island, New York, and I think this looks really nice, what you have here.
Oh, well, thank you.
But, yeah, because I'm in the process now of building on our property in Moscow Oblast. And
yeah, baby.
Actually, I'm liking what I'm seeing that you have here.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to tell your followers, like I said, I came here 2 times before I moved here, and just reading some of the comments, Russia, it's a beautiful place to live, but the mentality and the way of life here is so different than America, So the expectations, I think, unless people are just kidding around when they're writing and they're going back and forth, but what you have here is absolutely wonderful. Really, for the American village, I really think it's perfect. I'm living here 10 years, so for me, it's exactly what I want to build on my property. Something similar to this. I think it's wonderful. So I just wanted to let your followers know.
Well, so Buzz, why don't you tell us, unless it's a real personal secret, we don't have to get into any details, but roughly speaking, how many square meters are you building, or square feet, whichever figure is in your mind?
All right. I have a family of 4 and a medium-sized dog.
Okay.
My son is 13. My daughter's 9. My wife and I'm looking no less than 80 and no more than 100.
Oh, okay. So that's basically, we're a little bit over 100 with this design, but that's essentially the sort of high end of what you were looking at. Now, as someone who's an American, why does 100 square meters, which is, oh gosh, I don't have my thing open. No. Let's see. 100 square meters to square feet. Hold on one second, boss. Hold on. 1,076 square feet. So as an American, why do you now believe that 100 square meters is awesome for a family of 4 with a significant dog?
Well, I grew up in a Morton house on Long Island, right? It was it was a ranch. We had a basement and it was a 1 floor, right? 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 in the main bedroom and 1 in the hallway, and just a living room, a kitchen, and a dining room. That's it. Ranch style. That's what I love.
Yeah.
When I was on Long Island, we lived a different life. We had a different mentality, and now we're in a 3-room flat in Moscow. That's 7.
That's 7 what? You faded out there. Excuse me, Boz. You're in a Moscow flat that's 7.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you faded out. You said we now live in a Moscow flat that's 770 square meters.
We have 7.
Oh no, the number 7 is your curse.
About 76 square meters. We have a 3-room flat. But we've just changed the way we live, right? Our lifestyle and our mentality, you know, like we don't have the garage, we don't have the basement, we don't have the attic. We don't need it because all really we did was just store things that we think we needed to save or to keep. Right.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you one thing, man, like, you know, it's harder to be a hoarder when your house is small and doesn't have a basement. In fact, that was one thing, just to share something personal. My grandmother was, I guess what you could call a partial hoarder because her basement, it was just filled with this piles of stuff. You never know it from being upstairs, but she had the full hoarder basement thing kind of going on there. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of like, you know, how much functional space do you really want? And the other thing that can happen, Boz, would you agree with this, or do you think I'm going too far with this? Would be sometimes if you live in a McMansion, it's almost like you're sort of living separately from your own children.
Yes.
Or do you disagree with that? Oh, you do.
No. Yeah, but also think about it. You don't own the house. The house owns you. Okay. Now, my wife and I, we both had jobs Monday through Friday. We left 7 in the morning. We were home at 7 at night. And we traveled a lot, right? Long Island, you need a car. You're dead in the water without a car.
Yeah.
Russia, it's not like that. So,
well, the American village is definitely going to need a little bit of help. There are not many buses that go past the village per day. So there's going to be a little bit more car dependence. But if you're talking about getting around Serpukhov or especially Moscow, it's no problem.
Of course. But what I'm saying is the point I wanted to make was you work with traveling, commuting 5 days a week, right? You have a 12-hour day. Right? You get home at night, you don't have much time together. The weekend comes, what are you doing? You're working around the house. You're cutting the lawn. You're doing this. You're painting. You're cleaning. Like, so a smaller house, it's less work. You know, the house doesn't own you. You're not working as much. You put a nice detached garage, like what we're going to do, a detached garage on the property with a house that's probably no more than 100 square meters. And then we're going to buy those banyas. They're oval. Yeah. They come, they drop them right in place. You don't even have to build a banya. They're very popular now. They're very popular, even in the States, too. I follow a guy in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, if you want to go El Cheapo, they have the banyas that are basically like a container where they're more like a rectagonal. Is that a word? I think I just made something up. They're like a rectangle, a 3D rectangle, and they just plop them right down. You can get some real cheap for like under $2,000. It's crazy.
Gregory, call Mom, please. Yeah, but I'm saying,
Mom's coming into the discussion.
my wife was calling me. Listen, what I'm saying is, okay. When I visited Russia 2 times, then a year and a half later I moved here, and even after I moved here, it took me a little while to get adjusted to the way of life here. You know what I'm saying? So once you change your way of thinking and you change the way your lifestyle was in America to Russia, then you're really gonna understand like what Tim. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what you're saying. You've been here a long time. I just want your followers to know to trust you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But you know. Well, how much should they really trust some lovely persona on the internet? You know, I don't know.
What I'm saying is I understand that a lot of your followers are very excited to move here. They're excited to start a new life, to be, to be in the forest. And this is it's all wonderful, but it's going to be a lot different than maybe what they're fantasizing about or what they're, what I'm saying, like their expectations. So that's all I want to say. It took me like a year or two. Really, it took me like a year or two for me to get adjusted. And I'm living in Moscow. This is an international city. I have anything I want when I want.
Yeah.
But it still took me time. So
I can definitely feel that. Or like for me, I mean, for the American Village, we're going to have really nice septic systems, like more professional ones. But like for me, man, I have old school septic. Like sometimes septic gets too full. I got to get out there with the pump, throw it in the poopies and turn it on. And, you know, I have to drain it and pump it myself, you know, by hand. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff where you just kind of have to get really get used to it. So, yeah, life here is it's definitely different.
Listen, last year I started on my property. I put the fence in. We got a nice shed. We got an outdoor shitter, and we put the well in. We put the well in, and then we had a hiccup in our lives, so we had to stop. So I have property waiting, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's not like it's.
Oh no! When I was fixing up the house, man, we had the porta potty. I rented a porta potty for like 6 months while we were trying to get the water online and get all this stuff out here. So that's nothing. With this American Village, we're going to try to build this in a more professional way. But there's another thing where, like with Russia, I mean, sometimes you have to use the outhouse until you get things set up. I don't know, you know. That's
but all I'm trying to say is to your followers, it's just, you know, it's a different way of life here. Really different. Right. So if they have the opportunity to come and visit before they move, you know, they'll get more of an understanding how it is here. You know? That's it. That's all I want.
All right, boss. Great talking to you. Anyways, and one thing that's definitely happening is in terms of at least real estate figures, there's a massive migration of Russians from apartments to houses. So if you do come here and you go by any place where there's any kind of money whatsoever, or even places where people don't have money, you will see a lot of houses, and you will see that they are generally in the range. They're generally under 2,000 square feet. Something over 2,000 square feet is, or even approaching 2,000 square feet, is considered like really, really big, maybe unnecessarily big. And a lot of people, I've been told, that to go over the magic number of 150 square meters, which is how much again? So it's like 1,500 square feet or something like that, 1,600 square feet. A lot of people who do that tend to come back really disappointed, because here comes the heating bills. Here comes what the boss was just saying about having to clean up and maintain all this stuff. And you're having like rooms you're not even using and this, that, and the other. And it becomes a whole big deal. And it also increases the cost of your fund foundation, which is the most expensive part of your house. So anyways, let's get back to the comments. So let's see. Forkbeard had a comment about the design. So let's get the design back on, because if we're talking about it, why not look at it? Anyways, let's look at the other one, so we have a little bit of visual diversity here. So Forkbeard says, compact yet with 3 bedrooms. Looks good. My only feedback is, wouldn't it be efficient for the bedroom at laundry room to be directly behind the kitchen area? This would save costs and construction time by consolidating all the plumbing work. I think there's some sort of logic where if you look on the screen, this would be the boiler room here, and the bathroom is that because the main entrance is the source of sort of drafts and coldness. I think the logic is that, and again, someone had the great suggestion that there should actually be a door here, or we box this in, so that way there's 2 doors. But anyways, it kind of this is kind of maybe the most unpleasant room to be in the house. And that's the reason why it's located where it is, and why generally, if you look at house plans that are drawn up in Russia, almost always the boiler room is right by the main entrance for that very same reason. So that's kind of why that is the way it is, Forkbeard. So I don't think we're going to change that. But consolidating the plumbing, I'm all with you there. I'm all with you about consolidating the plumbing to make it easier. William S., I like the design, but I'm interested in the smaller house. Well, we'll get to that. The architect says he basically has that one worked out. The smaller house is also to be cheaper, so the smaller house should be 2 stories. Why 2 stories? Because that allows us to have a smaller foundation to make it even cheaper to build, because the small house then would probably have to be stick frame. I still have a little bit of the door open for this being 3D printed. Again, the price they gave was pretty good, so we're going to have to wait to compare prices. But the little house would almost certainly have to be either first story 3D, second story stick frame, or just all stick frame. But the one thing about stick frame is because it's not so physically heavy compared to other materials, the foundation doesn't have to be like ultra mega burly. but it can be small. So I have a strong feeling he might do the classic 6 meter by 6 meter foundation, which yields 36 square meters, which is how much? 36 is 387 feet, doubled, goes over 700 square feet when you make it a 2-story house. So I think that's probably what you're going to get when you see the drawing, but who knows? There could be surprises involved from the architect. That's up to him and what he's willing to do or steal or modify for us. So, Nicholas, I love that there's a legit laundry room. That is only an afterthought in a lot of house plans. Yeah, that's the whole boiler room thing, man. The boiler room is a big deal in Russia, like I said, and why not have your laundry or your washing machine there? Because washing machines tend to be a little bit on the loud side, even the nice modern ones, So, yeah, why not? JP writes, good old JP. JP, we love you. JP has actually been, I think, one of the very, very first people, like, ever on Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore. So we're always thrilled to have a comment from JP. Old school. First thoughts, I agree with the need for a fireplace. I agree with you, too. I'm thinking, again, in Russia, it is so much cheaper and more effective heat-wise to have a wood-burning stove. It's much more effective that way. Even if the wood-burning stove that's sort of in the middle of the room was made out of bricks, so it's a little bit more true old-timey Russian, there could be some value to that. But anyways, maybe in the corner where the chair is next to the bedroom on the left. I think he means, if you can see it on the monitor. I hope this is working. Yeah, I can see my mouse. I think he means like right here. And I agree with you, JP. That would be an excellent place for it. Something like that. Maybe even have the couch over there and flip it and have it over here. But yeah, those are anywhere in this sort of like central zone, because again, heat goes out in a circle from any source. So essentially, what if the fireplace, again, a lot of American homes are built with a fireplace in one place that looks nice, like for example, to be here. And that means that the heat travels very far to these rooms, whereas all Russian architects understand, and they're very passionate, that the heat source has to be in the middle. So it has to be somewhere essentially where my mouse is now, or else it is inefficient. Obviously, it wouldn't be completely useless, but it would be less efficient. So anyways, JP continues. For the middle of the three to choose from, I find it quite functional and doable, and a bit to choose from. I don't understand. Personally, I would like a covered porch in the back and a bigger covered porch extended a few feet more all the way out of the corner of the house to make for sitting on the porch. Yeah, I think, JP, to be honest, that suggestion is not only is it good, but I don't think that that's actually going to be very expensive to do. I really don't think that's going to add much to the cost of the house. So I just put that in the list. Thank you, JP. Your suggestion is on the list for the architect. I'm not thrilled with the entry straight into the master bedroom. We talked about that. Yeah, we're going to have to do something about that. This is already the fourth person to mention it or something. But like I said, I see the larger option makes sense to have the entry by the utility room. Garage, is that not an option? So if they can be attached, yeah. So that kind of leads us into, based on talking to the architect. So let's talk about what could we do to make this same sort of concept, but bigger. So if we go to this screen, I sort of grabbed this and did some Photoshop magic to it to make it bigger and more American, based on the way like my parents' home is, based on the way my one uncle's house his house is very different shaped, but the logic is this way. Based on my unfortunately my late grandmother Kirby, her house had a similar sort of setup with the way the garage was, kind of. She had one of those split level houses. This would not be that, but still. Anyways, a lot of my relatives had this idea where you have a driveway and you have a 2-car garage, and then there's a wall, I think probably to be a load-bearing wall because this takes up a lot of space. And then you have some kind of like workspace or maybe hangout space behind it. And all this would be unheated. This wouldn't be connected to water or heat, only electricity. Because in Russia, if you want to try to heat all this, number one, good luck. Number two, you're going to be working a lot. You're going to be working to pay, especially if we have some problems. And, one day, say you get the gas holder thing. Yeah, the gas holder holds 2 or 3 months worth of gas. Well, when you're heating this baby, that's 1 month worth of gas. All right. So got to think about that. But anyways, so this would be unheated and without water. And you could pull your car in right there. You could have like a little workspace. Entering through the boiler room, which is, I think, something in a lot of houses, in American houses, generally when you enter from the garage to wherever the garage leads you, with the exception of my grandmother, Zach, or Zakarievska, I think was the original, she actually had her garage lead into an important area of the house. But generally, you kind of get in this weird, like, sort of, again, I think for the heating purposes and heating, cooling, you always go into some sort of weird place that's very tight, like a tight little hallway. So we could just have the boiler room actually turn into kind of like a hallway, something like that. Maybe move this wall a little bit and then actually come into the house from there. And then from there, what you do is you take out the second bathroom. Maybe we have to modify this into being another bathroom. Maybe we have to do something to have more bathroom action because this is becoming a big house. But one thing that is an American tradition is with the master bedroom. Always, what makes it the master bedroom? It has its own dedicated full bathroom, And so, just, again, this is just something I whipped up in Photoshop to show the architect so we could have a chat about it. Because he even asked me, he's like, the house I gave you is very Russian. And I'm like, I think it's, to be honest, halfway in between. But he was like, what would be something like really American? Could you find it for me? And I think when you have a master bedroom that has its own dedicated bathroom, in this sort of alignment, which is, again, very similar to the alignment of my parents' home, who have like a sort of an entryway from the garage that leads into an open space that eventually, in fact, it's entrance from the garage. They have like two little rooms leading into an open space that leads to the master bedroom. Is essentially their kind of concept. And I think it's very American, very classic. And so if we do a massive house, this would be the big daddy of them all. And I think if we do the math, hold on, let me get my calculator. Oh, in fact, it's going to be right on the screen. Amazing. So if we take 8.5 meters times 17-ish meters of the actual livable space without the garage, we're getting 144.5 square meters, which is 144.5, 1,550. And again, this is in that magic zone of being right below 150 square meters, which again, I don't recommend anyone in Russia, unless you're like baller wealthy and you don't care how much you spend on utilities. You don't care about upkeeping your home. You don't care about keeping it because you'll pay someone to keep it clean, keep it the upkeep. You don't care about paying someone $1,000 to fix stuff or whatever. If you're baller rich, then you can have a home over 150 square meters. I wouldn't. And one of my personal policies, friends, throughout this project and it's everything I do, but especially this project with these houses, is I would never ever give you guys something that I wouldn't want to live in. And so this is sort of right at the cusp of a house becoming too big for Russia, too big for Russian realities. In fact, this might actually wind up being a little bit too big for Russian realities, but it's right on that sort of border of my advice zone. So anyways, that's kind of what it could look. And you can see I made the porch much bigger. To be honest, if you really want to go nuts, you can have a really big porch. In fact, I have some Russian friends, and their house is maybe about this size, and they have a porch that goes, it's a wrong street. They have a house that's like this size of this square here, which is still pretty decent, but their porch goes all the way around on three sides. It's an intense porch. So anyways, that's kind of what things could look like if they were to get really big and fat and huge. So basically the big house that I would like to get from the architect, I think should follow this logic. So yeah. And if, he comes up with a concept like that, maybe we could modify this house to have an optional door here, to have an optional garage, maybe like a one-car garage to, again, keep the price down. Although a garage you could kind of build yourself later. Maybe I'm speaking too soon because a lot of people are not in the best financial situation, and adding a garage, it's going to add a lot of costs because it's more foundation. Well, we'll think about that one. Maybe we could sort of put a zone here where you could have like like two doors, like a double door. And in the future, if you want to do that, you can do that. I don't know, but something to think about. Anyways, going into our Sam Oak wants to talk. Hello, Sam. Hello. You want to talk about stuff and houses? Hello.
Hey, Tim. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Just fine.
Great. Yeah. So my wife is a Russian citizen. She's a USSR citizen, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you said that those people, the people born under the USSR, are guaranteed to come back no matter what in the future.
Not no matter what. They are guaranteed the right to be able to submit documents for migration without having to worry about the immigration quotas.
Oh, okay, cool. So I guess I would fall under that, I suppose, since we're married. But
after she gets citizenship,
she has citizenship. She has her citizenship.
Now I'm confused.
She
hold on, stop. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's take it a step back, baby. She has citizenship of what country?
Of Russia and the United States.
Okay, Russia, today's Russia, right? Not the Soviet Union.
Yeah, she actually updated her passport in 2017.
Fantastic. So anything about her being born in the Soviet Union or not the Soviet Union doesn't matter at all. That is of zero relevance to you at this point. So she has Russian citizenship. That is the checkbox. So if you and your wife there are on the territory of the Russian Federation and you put your documents in order, that means that you have that right now to submit documents to attain temporary residency without the necessity of being in some sort of quota.
Got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are interested in getting into one of the smaller places there at the American Village, just as kind of a springboard. Maybe we'd sell it and move on. But I'm a builder, and I built my own house, and 3 or 4 other ones I've framed up and done different kinds of works. I do concrete, roofing. So I don't know. I think I could be helpful there, possibly. And
well, yeah, I mean, if people want to sort of be on the job site, or if they want to put in a lot of labor themselves to help save on costs or whatever. And again, when we actually get this thing going, I mean, if someone really wants to do their house in their own way, that's not a problem. Just the main thing is they have to show us that they're gonna put down a foundation, because again, it's first come, first serve, because I can't sit around waiting for years until someone finally shows up and starts working there. So
sure. Now, is it possible, because we spoke about doing Kirby Gold with you, is it possible that, because our plan is to come in the next year or two, and I think your project starts in 2024, we'd like to come have some money there stored with you, just as goodwill for all your efforts, and also we might save some money if gold goes up a lot, and travel around a little bit, get the 6 month and a day, be there for at least 6 months and a day.
Yeah, I can help you out with that. Just the like I can help out anyone else. It's just the thing is I got this vacation coming up, and so I'm sort of like pressed to the wall time-wise to get it done. In fact, I probably should tomorrow morning. A few people have been asking me about that. Just tell people that all this stuff's going to have to wait till I get back from vacation. I just don't have the time to deal with it right now. So we're thinking second half of August. Yeah, I can help you out with anything like that. In fact, some other people are like, Tim, could you somehow, like, if I were to give you, X number of money, could you just take it out as paper money for me from the bank? I don't quite know why they think that that's so important. Is it ruble money? I think maybe they just feel the exchange rate is good right now. I don't know, but I don't care. It's not a crime to hold money, physical money, for a friend in a reasonable sum. So who cares? You know?
Okay. And I'm wondering if could that be a way we finance the house? Because I don't know how soon you need your down payments and whatnot, but we'd like to
sorry, I keep cutting you off. I apologize. It's kind of rude. It's just I kind of answer the same questions a lot, so please forgive me. That was a little rude of me. But anyways, let me mute you here, because I'm getting some background like clicking. No click. Oh, I should probably put myself on the screen. Why not? Stop sharing. Okay. Sometimes I don't know whether I'm on the screen or I'm not. But anyways, about this in the future, again, when we get closer and we can finally have all the stupid contracts in order for all this, pretty soon the architect is actually going to have basically a cost breakdown of what it's going to cost to build this. But remember, things go up and down. So again, this is a cost breakdown that's going to be based on today. Tomorrow is a new day. But overall, in general, unless something were to happen like another pandemic situation that triples the cost of wood, barring that, it should relatively be kind of more or less the same, give or take next year price-wise, with a little bit of nudging room for inflation. But anyways, the real way that you can kind of do this and put this money down, the sort of a roadmap of how someone can really finally do the American Village, that can really only happen when we finally get the green light, whether it be for the original American Village location that we're working on, which is unfortunately bureaucratically the hardest location, or whether it be sort of like a different location, which we've gotten a few offers from people to do it somewhere else. But the somewhere else is maybe a little bit bureaucratically easier to do. At the point when we actually get started, close to starting to do this, when we actually do need money to be like, look, we got to put money down and build you a house, we're going to work out the sort of pipeline of how that's going to work. But at this point, it's almost certainly going to involve crypto. So I think at some point I'm going to put together a video that shows how someone can transfer a lot of their assets to crypto in order to start building a life in Russia one way or another. Or they could try to do it slowly, as in, coming to Russia, taking it physically. There still seems to be ways that our friend Marcus at Let's Russia somehow sends people money. I don't know how the hell he does it, but somehow he does it. So you can always talk to Marcus, but if you don't trust Marcus, then that option really isn't on the table, is it? I do. I've seen him transfer a lot of money. So he knows a thing or two. Russian hacker. But anyways, yeah, so that's basically, to answer your question, is we're going to get this roadmap built as soon as we can. I know in some ways maybe time is kind of running out, but what can you do? I'm the victim of, we are the victims, I should say, of this whole bureaucracy, that everything is slow because everything is bureaucratic and we can't just do what we want. We just can't, get started, just break ground, got to get all this stuff worked out. So unfortunately, it's real slow. It's a real slow process. In fact, I just did an interview with an Italian guy, and from the day he put down his money till the time he moved into his apartment, this will not happen with us. Construction with us is going to, once we're allowed to build, it's going to be way faster. It's going to be a matter of a couple months, 3 months maybe. But for him, because of bureaucracy and some problems, 4 years. Oh, no. Anyway, Sam, did you have one last thing to say? Or if not, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I did. If you're doing wood stoves, which is a great idea, by the way, it would be nice if you had a water line that you could stub out to where the wood stove is. That way you can run a copper line in behind the wood stove, put a little tank, and in the wintertime, you could save a good amount of money heating your water.
Interesting. That's actually a really good idea, and I just put that on the list. So thank you very much, Sam. We're going to be moving on, but that's actually awesome. It probably would be good to have that as a backup plan, just in case. A very affordable backup plan. Anyways, going back to our big breakdown, I guess I have to put the house back on the screen there. I think this is JP. I prefer a breakfast bar divider between the kitchen and the living room. If space allowed, with extra cabinets underneath. That you'd have to add yourself, my friend. About this sort of thing of like kitchen layout stuff, that might be sort of a question of taste, especially about islands and stuff. So, yeah, that's something we might have to kind of work out there. But I don't see why someone wouldn't be able to add an island there. It looks like there's kind of there's a doorway that's an exit, but as long as you kind of have enough room to get around it, and this table doesn't have to be so big. Yeah, I guess an island would be doable, but you might have to do it yourself, like I said. This looks like a cozy home for a small family or newlyweds. My friend, in the great Soviet Union, 100 square meters was plenty for more than some newlyweds. One of the bedrooms can be used as a library study if circumstances allow. I like it. Yeah. My sole issue is the garage. Winter is cold. Could one be attached? We kind of talked about that. Theoretically, yes, it could. But very few people in Russia are going to heat a garage, and you're not going to want to pay for it. Even though utilities here are cheap, you'll kind of realize that it is not worth it. How close will each house be to the next? They can be no closer than 6 meters. 3 on one side of the fence, 3 on the other, I think, is how that works. So, yeah, that's as close as they could possibly be. I think it's going to probably wind up being something like that. Hugh, if you're really curious, go look for pictures. In fact, go on, Yandex or Google and start looking at the suburbs around Moscow, just with like Google Earth or whatever, and see how like individual homes, like single-family homes, are all laid out, and you'll get your answer. Forkbeard chimes in. I'm on my phone, so I can't sketch it out. What I'm saying is an entrance, then, for example, a laundry. Yeah, we kind of covered that. Third option should be a bigger 2-story. Tiny homes are trivial, Christopher adds. Third option should be a bigger 2-story. Well, I kind of drew a bigger 1-story. Maybe a bigger 2-story might be an option. We could essentially take this bad boy and maybe put a staircase right there. That's kind of what I initially thought. But then again, I wanted to kind of keep with the whole America theme. And maybe, but you could put a Russian family could very much get rid of the window or move it over here. You have your staircase right there, and then you have a big second floor. That's cheaper, but, doesn't really have that super America feel. But that's an option. Again, yeah, tiny homes are trivial to organize as lots of companies sell prefab datras. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I think the true tiny home, which is 36 square meters or less, is kind of pointless as someone who basically lives in a home just above the size of a tiny home. And it's really, again, though, that's a home for singles and newlyweds. A tiny home is a home for singles and newlyweds, or people who are very, very, like, super, I want to say communicative, maybe extroverts, where they really want to have their kids around and they really want to sing Kumbaya, and everyone really wants to, pray before they eat, like a super more tight-knit kind of family. Whereas the Kirby household was more of a do shit on your own, boy, kind of household. And so tiny homes, yeah, living in one, it's just not enough. It's not, it doesn't work for families. I do think that for, especially your single adult male, is like, it's an amazing way to live before you get married, or elderly couple, also awesome. But yeah, because then there's less to clean. Because a lot of old people, that's one thing that catches up with them. They got the big house, and then all of a sudden they have to take care of it. When you're in your 70s and your 80s and your bones hurt and all that stuff, that's no fun. Zed Alpha chimes in. The entry door walks into the bedroom door. It needs a separate dry space. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's person number 4 who mentioned that. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that. There's definitely going to have to be some sort of divider somehow here, or, again, maybe a closed-in something. Something has to happen here. Something has to happen there. That is a major problem. Mudroom is a necessity in Russia. Putting it elsewhere would screw up the living room. Wait. Hold on, let's go back to Zed Alpha. For example, move the right side bedroom and the bedroom to the left, rearrange space with the corridor, bedroom attached. Oh, boy, this is all complicated. Would it be possible to make one space from the third bedroom into a small sitting area? Oh, dude, they're way too abstract, man. I don't know what you're talking about. That's like computer code. Mudroom is a necessity in Russia, says Christopher. He's 100% right. You absolutely have to have some sort of room for coats and shoes and all that as a separate thing. In Russia, this is an absolute must. Because it is so messy outside, especially in winter. Squanto, I love the design. Nice, cozy home. The only feedback I suggest is any chance we could get a garage. Another one, a garage. Like Infestus, because I like having a garage home gym. I really love the progress on this project. So we got, again, the garage. Okay. So maybe in some ways we don't even have to make a third big home. We just need to have this one have a garage. So, yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So, and again, someone I see in the chat, there's a couple people who've wanted me again. I know you guys are listening right now. Again, sorry I haven't gotten back to you about Kirby Gold or Kirby holding paper money for you or whatever after vacation. Sorry, guys, I am overwhelmed. So there's a few people there. I shouldn't mention your names, but you know who you are. You're listening right now. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, so that's basically it with our homes. I think that's all the comments. You know what I should look at? I should look at the comments, just the generic comments that we actually have just in general to this post here. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them. Holy moly. Sam Oak, most interesting live stream this side of heaven. Well, thank you. I think the American Village is, fortunately or unfortunately, a little bit more interesting than my political views on Russia, especially when I work too much and I can't really do this channel the way it should be done. So I'm sorry, guys, but unfortunately, this channel kind of turns into a bit of a hobby for me, especially in summer when I'm really working hard. And, you know, it's just not as good as, let's take Judge Napolitano, for example, or we go with Joaquin Flores, who our good friend there, or someone like Matt Ehret, who sometimes releases like one major documentary movie a month. Those guys are doing things the right way. So I appreciate that you guys are very patient with me. But so far, Tim Kirby Russia is a little bit more of a hobby project than it is, say, a big, I was going to say funded. It's not funded. Maybe one day it will be. If it was a funded project, things could be a lot better here. But again, when I get back from vacation, I'm going to try to make these live streams multi-platform, much nicer, do more of them. We're going to get rid of all the little garbage videos because I hate doing them. I actually really started to hate doing them. I thought when I made the hot takes more simpler, those little videos, that they'd be more fun to do. No, I still hate them. So we're going to get rid of all the stuff I hate doing. I enjoy doing live streams, though, as long as they don't go over an hour and 30 minutes. Hey, Tim, Christopher says, I'm going to try to get on this live presentation. Bear with me. I'm 67 and a half and just got the Telegram account 2 weeks ago. Cheers. Okay, thank you. If you're here with us, Christopher, thank you very much. Daniel, you're a young lad. Looks similar to an American ranch-style home, says Christopher. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for with this. I think that's kind of what the architect was, too. Ranch-style homes are awesome, and they are pretty easy to build. The ideal ranch is a brick ranch. Every time I pull up in the driveway, brick houses start playing. But bricks are very expensive in Russia, so bricks are probably one of the last options. If you're going to do a house out of block would be awesome. But like I said, unfortunately, blocks have gotten way more expensive than they used to be. So that's a sad thing. Anyways, Mo, isn't gas cheap in Russia? Earth gas for heating. Yeah, people use gas to heat their homes, and it is definitely cheaper than in a lot of countries. In fact, most people who can get gas heating choose to have it because it is cheaper. It's definitely cheaper than electricity. Everyone says that. That's universal. Arminius, who may be a space marine. Do these houses have insulated cavity walls? I'm not sure what you mean by cavity. If you mean in general stick frame construction between each vertical stick, which in metric, they're going to be 50 millimeters by 200 millimeters. So that's a 2x8 in American English. And between each one of them, yeah, there's a bunch of insulation. 200 millimeters worth or 8 inches worth, depending on what system you want to use. So yes, I think that's what you mean by cavity. I'm sorry, that might be the proper term for that, but yeah. Tim, switch the master bedroom area with the boiler room area. No, because that would then mean that all the cold air goes directly into the bedroom. Boz, you are right. It's traditional in Finland and northern Sweden, subarctic areas like Serpukhov. Yeah, Boz, the garage in Banyasanya. Yeah, but again, about keeping prices down. If you want to, like the Boz just mentioned, ordering a banya and just doing it yourself is not that hard, and that's something you should really do yourself and not have someone do for you. I've been looking in Chekhov, 7 million rubles for a new built stick frame. In the city itself or around the city? Because remember, the Chekhov the city and Chekhov the county. But yeah, 7 million rubles is not surprising. Again, it kind of depends on the size. Because Chekhov is near Moscow. It is very Moscow accessible. It's a very nice place to live, I would know. And if you're talking about a new home, that probably means it's built to very nice standards and is fairly big and is fairly nice on the inside. I could be wrong. Maybe it's one of the old on an old setup there, but yeah, not surprising. It costs a pretty penny. So yeah, We're definitely hoping to keep the price of these houses down, but unfortunately, because Tim is not Daddy Warbucks, we're going to need to get some Russian investment companies to invest in this. We're getting close. And unfortunately, those investors are going to want their money back with profit. So, yeah, that's going to drive up the price there. But what can you do? That's the way the world works. Move the entrance to the middle of the house and use the same entrance concept. Again, Christopher, no. That would be even worse. That would be tons of cold air just bellowing into the middle of the home without a mudroom. No, we do not eliminate mudrooms. Every Russian house should have a mudroom. That's when I'm going to put my foot down. Got to have the mudroom, or you are in deep duty. Sometimes, literally. Christopher, I agree with Boz. Visit Russia first. Get a local bank account. Yeah, that's one thing you should definitely do. Can't have a home if you can't pay for it. Yeah, set up that local bank account. It costs you nothing. Get that all set up. Go to VTB Bank. Go to Raiffeisen. Probably VTB would be better because I don't think they submit any documents to the government. Spare Bank is an option, but their new cards are weird. They kind of want you to, like, if you don't use them, pay for them. Unless you have a decent amount of money on your bank account. So VTB all the way, baby. Just so you know, I got the dough. Well, Christopher, if you do, that's awesome. Then wait for the start of the American Village, and you'll be one of the first people. One of the first people. Let's use plural words to then be able to get your plot of land. What would these houses cost? The problem is, it kind of depends on the investors and how much profit they want. So we don't know. But I would guess this sort of statement here about 7 million rubles around Serpukhov or Chekhov might be somewhere within the ballpark when you factor in the investors wanting to get their property back, the fact that you're going to need to have the septic system, you're going to have your gas holder unit, you're going to have the electricity line put to your house. It may somewhere actually wind up being more in that range, but we're not quite sure yet. I think that all the plumbing in one area is best for any cost. Yeah, Chantel. I think I'm going to talk to the architect there. Yeah, I'd really like the plumbing to all be sort of shoved into one location. I think that would be better. Yeah. Again, Christopher, the wooden stove with copper piping to an accumulator tank. Yep. Well, I agree with you there, Christopher. That was a great suggestion someone else had, and we're going to have that. Your architect can look up ranch homes on Google for more American ideas. Brick facades can be added later by brick fans. Christopher, I would not do that in Russia because that's when you're getting into this this thing of where is that? What is that called? Dew point, moisture point, condensation point, the point where like hot and cold air meet in winter and it creates wetness. And if you have a stick frame home and like rock wool, okay, that can it gets a little wet and it dries and wet and dries. And especially with a stick frame home, if you're kind of getting into a problem with that, you can pull off the walls, redo your sticks, and go if something bad were to happen. Once you get into that sort of brick touching wood thing, oh boy, do you get into some serious condensation problems. So, I mean, if someone wants to do that, but they should really research how to do that the right way. So that way you're not having like the condensation come up on all the bricks. And then the bricks are like touching the wood and they're creating that like moist point where everything starts to rot. You know what I mean? Be careful about that. Again, I'm not an engineering expert, but I'd be a little bit concerned about that. What about a walk-through mudroom? Enter the mudroom directly from the outside and then a second door into the house. Yeah, Chantel, that was actually what I was kind of saying earlier where, to be honest, if we leave this as being small, I'd leave this. No, it is on the screen. Let's just go with this being on the screen. If we leave this to be maybe small and keep it cheap and actually sort of like, maybe, to be honest, it's actually too small. Make this a little bigger and actually box it in. Like this is something very popular in the eastern part of Russia. Really box this in and have a huge mudroom that's right in front of your house. And then you walk in your house through this door. That would be amazing. And it also wouldn't be super expensive or super difficult or anything. So, yeah, that's definitely, that was not the button I wanted to hit. That's definitely an option. Got it. Facade would work for a concrete printed house. Yeah. Brick on concrete is always amazing, but, yeah. So anyways, guys, I think I've been blabbering on for a while. I thought I was going to upload this video, but I'm already starting to get really tired. So I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go through the effort to make up the stupid icon right now. So anyways, maybe we make the smaller bathroom an enclosed combo bathroom with shower, towel, and drain, the whole thing. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So there's no change needed. I don't know. Well, we'll see about that. But anyways, wow, the chat is really active. That's nice, but maybe too active. So yeah, condensation point. There we go. Yeah, that's the word. There we go. Okay. So yeah. Any more info? Flood zone. Don't worry about the flooding. The fact that there are other buildings. Don't worry about that. That's not something to worry about. We're gonna actually also make sure that all the foundations are very high off the ground, and everything will be fine. Remember, Russia doesn't really get many natural disasters. Anyways, guys, so I'm going to get going, and this all seems well and good. No one wants to call in, which is nice. And, yeah, so anyways, I wish you all the best. And pretty soon you'll see this video. Oops, that was not the right thing. See this video online somewhere. Anyways,